No, you skeptical silly goose, to tell this video is not clickbait. I'm actually going to give you a 6-step script process that I have used for decades at this point, since the 80s. Since before the internet was even created, since before I was born. This ad script is eternal, it's that powerful. But on a real note, I have used this exact script for almost a decade at this point to print hundreds of millions of dollars online. This has worked for me in selling courses and education. This has worked for me in e-commerce. This currently works for me in SaaS. I cannot find a better method than this because it's my theory that this is the baseline of getting a human's attention and convincing them to do anything in a quick period of time. There is no process I can come up with, no process I've been able to find that makes ads that convert as highly as this. And I've just stopped at this point. I just literally come to this script every single time I want to create a Facebook, Google ad, or in these days now, TikTok ads, which makes my skin crawl every time I access that platform. Interacting with Gen Z gives me AIDS almost every single time I do it, but you gotta do it. They got money these days. You're gonna have to learn how to make Jake Paul your customer if you want to survive in this space. But back on topic, if we're looking for a quick form way to get people to do what we want, come to our website and then buy something, this cannot be beaten. And trust me, I've tried hundreds of times. I've gotten creative with my ads. I've made new types of content. I've followed all the hip hop cool things the cool kids are doing in ads. And every single time I come back to this dumb shit. It's like I have this butter knife that is undefeated in sword combat, and no matter how many crazy things I create, lightsabers, samurai swords, I don't know, something from Final Fantasy, this butter knife keeps getting better results, and it's annoying because I want to use something fancy and cool. You probably do too, but this butter knife of advertising cannot be beaten. Have I talked this up enough? Good. Welcome to my channel. My name is Alex Becker. I have generated hundreds of millions of dollars worth of revenue from ads online, and I have one of the largest ad tracking softwares on the entire planet. So I can literally tell you what is working across every industry, across billions of dollars of ad spend. I know it all. I'm a genius. Generational talent. I know. Thank you. But on a real note, jokes aside, I sort of have the credentials to tell you exactly what you should be doing right now with ads. And as a benefit on this channel, I'm an absolute idiot. I can't work with processes that are not written in purple crayon. So I'm able to break things down for you in a way that's super simple to apply and will get results with almost no effort. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. Let's hop into this ad script. So to kick things off, I like to keep these videos super short. So after this video, there is links in the description and will be popping up in the links after the video that links to videos of these actual ads and me breaking down these ads. So after I teach you how to use this script right, you can see it being used in action, me breaking it down step by step. On top of that, a specific ad writing format like word for word is also linked to in this channel as well, all completely for free because I'm already rich. I don't need to sell you courses or education. I simply want you to make more money with your ads. And when you do, and eventually decide you want to track your ads and make much more money from them, because people that track their ads and see their accurate stats do better, that tends to happen. You'll eventually come and use Hyros, my ad tracking software, because I've helped you so much with these videos. So again, take what I'm going to show you in this video, then go get the actual step-by-step word-for-word ad script at the end of it, and then watch it applied in action. You'll be a ninja within 2 days in the 2025. By the way, Happy New Year's. All right, so let's talk about what are we doing here. So again, the word-for-word script is linked in the description and will be at the end of this video. I want to give you the theory behind this. There are 6 steps convincing anybody to do whatever you want in a short period of time. And what you'll actually find is that convincing someone to do something in a long period of time via a webinar or sales call actually follows this exact format as well. But we have to condense this down in ads. So let's think about this in a 60-second application, which is what we're usually going to be doing with our Facebook, Google, and TikTok ads. And by the way, I apply the same mindset of this to image ads as well. It's all the same pattern of persuasion. So first things first, let's say we're selling anything. Okay, so let's narrow it down and get specific. Let's say we're selling literally anything. So the first thing we want to do is attention. Now this seems stupid, and everything I'm going to say is going to sound stupid because it's like kindergarten level simple. People don't get it because common sense is missing in advertising. It's all overcomplicated hoopla, but everyone gets the basics wrong and is confused why they suck at this. It's like a person who plays basketball but can't make a layup but can shoot 3-pointers from across the court. That's great, pal, but let's just do a little, second grade layup. So attention, what does this mean? Before you even start laying your message on something, you have to get someone to stop scrolling on these platforms. You have to get them to watch your YouTube ad or at least pay attention to it. The first 5 seconds people see that, their eyes glaze over instantly. So how do you do this? There's a million different ways, and you're going to have to experiment with this. The first thing you just need to think on is like what will grab their attention. You can literally make this the first 1 second of any ad and then split test it across all your ads. You just interject this at the start of the video. So what's going to grab a person's attention? I'm going to give you a funny little just quick example of this at Hyros. 90% of our customers are dudes. They're all dudes running businesses, regardless if they're doing e-commerce businesses, SaaS businesses, info businesses, doesn't matter. You know what dudes like? Pretty girls. So what we did is in our UGC videos where we had people giving testimonials, our ads where we had people talking about the videos, we just interjected any testimonials or speaker / avatar that was an attractive woman in the first 5 seconds video. That's just what we started off with. So the ad starts with testimonials, and the testimonials are introduced by a pretty woman. Just literally someone saying, you got to see these testimonials at Hyros or something like that. Pay a person on Fiverr $5 to do it, they'll do it. Boom, the ad gets attention. Now, there's all sorts of ways I've seen this used. So for example, I saw like a protein powder, and the way they were squeezing out the protein powder had it in a way to look like poop. And it was like in a bathroom. So people were like, what the heck am I watching? And then they zoom out and it's protein powder and it's not a bathroom at all. So they're like, oh, I shouldn't be having those dirty thoughts. Or I've seen ones where they have like a food item or something and it's shaped in like a slightly phallic way or inappropriate way. I'm using extreme examples here. Yes, I am suggesting make your product look like a penis in your ads to catch people's attention. I'm not suggesting you do that, but I'm using extreme examples here so you understand what your first thought should be. It shouldn't be pitching your product or even hooking them with the initial missions. It needs to be to get them to stop scrolling. I've seen various ones where people are selling products about losing weight, and they took a bunch of eggs, like rotten eggs that look like fat cells, and they have this at the first 5 seconds of their video. Or they have something weird or gross playing at the beginning of the video. Think about that at the start of your videos. I'm not saying put something gross or doesn't align with your brand in the first 5 seconds of your video. I'm saying get something that's going to get someone to stop scrolling. It can be as simple as a pretty face. It can be as simple as something that's kind of gross. Or it can be something that makes people go, what? Like, for example, I saw one ad where they had like 5 tall guys line up to like 5 really short guys, and it said like the secret's in their spine, and that makes no sense. Like but you're thinking, what's going on with these tall guys versus these short guys? It makes you stop scrolling. And then what we can do is we have to figure out what is important to the user in the ad, because this is where we're going to hook them. Okay, so again, you got to follow this process when making the ad. And again, the process, the step-by-step is in the other video after this. We want to think about these questions so we can then apply it to the next video script that you're going to get here. So what's important to the person that's going to get them to actually take action? So it depends on how you're communicating with the customer and what's going to trigger them. It can sometimes be pain. It can sometimes be gain. Let me give you 2 examples of this. So if you're like in a big industry where it's really generic and you're selling apples to apples, you have to find something to differentiate your product across other products. So for example, what I've seen in the gym clothing space right now is obviously stuff that has polyester in it is bad for your balls or something. It gives you plastics. So I've seen brands using the pain of like, hey, your shorts are poisoning you and giving you cancer or something like that. That's a pain that's going to trigger someone to click if that's important to them. Targeting these specific people comes down to audience targeting, which is also talked about on this channel. But you think about that, like what's the big one single pain? We don't want to list 10 different things. We just want to nail one big thing. Or for example, in the make money online space, when I used to sell courses there, the game was always blatantly like make money. And we have to tie it in with step 3. So sometimes it can be just a very simple gain from it, or a simple offer of gain. I really like pain-based ones. So for example, what works really well at Hyros that's going to be most important to the customer is either making more from their ad revenue or not losing tons of money, but depends on the customer we're marketing to. So for example, if we're marketing to a business owner that is not really involved with their ads, talking about gain, like, hey, this will instantly make 15% more revenue from your ads, which again, we're not just pulling that out of our butt. If you look at Hyros, that's why Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi, Pudgy Penguins, Playboy, and 4,000 plus other businesses use this. We literally guarantee when you plug in Hyros, you make 10, 15, 20% more on the low end from your ads, because if you just track ads with accurate tracking, you make better decisions, your ads make more. I'm not joking. You can see all the results on the site. Google Hyros after this. You should be using it. I'm not going to push Hyros anymore because we want to get into content, but again, If you run ads without high risk, you're factually choosing to like make less money. And that's our actual pitch. And a business owner will stop because that's what's important to them. But if we're talking to someone who's running ads, the pain works a lot better. So for example, we'll talk about how they're not able to see what their ads are generating. There's crisscrossing between their ads, they're missing sales. And so I kind of run ads from both of these angles to get both of these different parties, because sometimes we're managing our marketing to ad managers and other times we're marketing to business owners. So think about what's most important and how you can introduce it to them. 3, this is an optional one, but very important with industries where you're coming in from gain perspectives, because everybody uses the same gain. If we're talking about something like make money online, the reason you're going to stand out in your ad is this step right here. What's the thing or bad experience they had in the past? So without or bad experience in the past. So for example, in the make money online niche, this is so important to step number 2, because everybody's offering a person to make money rich and fast and quickly and whatever. Okay. And also everybody offering it, everybody hates. And so you have to consider that people have had bad experiences in the make money online. It's like, hey, do you want to make money for real without having to invest money up front, without a bunch of complicated hoopla, something that's really beginner friendly? So without, and you're addressing all the crap they've had to deal with in the past. Or for example, at Hyros, when we offer these big gains right here, we throw in without making changes to your business. And you have to consider this step optional. So for example, if I was doing with the clothing example I did before, we're talking about polyester giving everybody plastic in their balls. You don't really need to have this without, okay? Because we've already really triggered a lot of pain. But a lot of times gain is not good enough to just trigger people alone. You need to also throw in a without. And so consider that when you're building your ads and scripting them. Now, step number 4 is we need to be able to verify it. Okay, so let's imagine someone comes up in the street and tells you, or first off, catches your attention by poking your nose. Okay, it has to be something that grabs your attention. I'll probably scare you on the street, but let's imagine a person comes up to you and pokes your nose. And then what you're going to do is you're going to offer some potential gain without something that they hate or without a bad experience they've had in the past, or offer an escape from a pain. You usually don't have to do the without part if you're offering, or the most important thing is pain. And then you have to verify it. So how do we verify this? How do we get the person to believe us? This is the most important thing. Like, what's the most important thing that if you had would really improve their life and that they would immediately respond to if you truly had? If you can create something like that, then all you have to do is prove to the person it works. So how do you verify it? Well, there's testimonials, of course, studies. What I find is best is famous people suggesting your product, which I talk about in another video on this channel. It's the TRT ads video. And it's basically how I use testimonials to then get famous people to promote our products. This is how we got, for example, like Tony Robbins, ClickFunnels, Grant Cardone, all those companies and ad managers of those companies to suggest our product. That's how we did it, if you're curious how that happens. But what you want to focus on is things like this. You have to find a way to believably verify. If you just tell people, hey, my product will increase your ad revenue by 15%, it's not going to work. But if you show them testimonials, or for example, let's say we're talking about that e-commerce example with the gym shorts. If we show studies on how polyester is increasing it and how studies with our product or something show a different result. For example, Qualia, one of the best-selling nootropic products in the nootropic space or brain improvement biohacking space, they had tons of studies to back up what they were saying. Or in red light therapy or saunas, they show these studies and these examples of how it's actually increasing longevity and whatnot. Very, very, very super duper important. And so the best things you can do is testimonials, but the best things, in my opinion, are testimonials from famous people backed with studies if you're in some kind of, particularly an e-commerce niche. Who do they trust and what information can you get them that is believable and not for you to verify this point right here? And at this point, you have the person hooked enough to get them to like take action. And so step number 5 is there just has to be a time sensitive reason for them to click and take action now. All right. So for example, at Hyros all the time, I don't like to use too much gimmicky time stuff. It's just not great for a SaaS brand. What I'll use sometimes in specials, of course, the price is increasing soon or something like that. What I like to do is I just like to point out all the money that they're losing every single day when not using the product. So for example, if they're spending $100,000 a month on ads, they could be making an extra $10,000, $20,000 a month if they just use Hyros. And it's like, I don't know, $300, $500 a day they're losing just by not using it. In e-commerce though, or especially in info marketing where you can kind of be a little bit of a sleazebag, you can come up with all sorts of stuff like time-sensitive discounts, fake scarcity. I know all you motherfuckers are using fake scarcity. You guys are turds. We might as well just talk about what you're doing. Webinars where you act like it's time-sensitive. All sorts of anything. Just be creative. If you've been in an industry and you're running ads for any amount of time, you know every type of form of scarcity there is. At the end of your videos, have some reason to click right now. And then tell them to click. You need to tell them to click multiple times. When you check out the script that's in the video, we'll talk about that. And finally, you have to create the downside. Okay, like what's going to happen if you don't click and you don't take action now? Like what's the worst case scenario? So for example, at Hyros, I'll talk about how we have this crazy guarantee that they get this result. So the only downside to taking action on this ad right now and trying Hyros would be it not working. The upside is you make so much more money without making any changes in your business. The downside, click this video now. We're offering these shorts that don't give you your balls cancer. And during the month of January, actually the next week, we have a special discount to people buying their first pair of pants or something like that. They come to the page, there's timers, whatnot. And we have a crazy guarantee, or every single day you're wearing normal shorts, you're poisoning your body a little bit more, which is the opposite of why you're going to the gym in the first place. And so what we're doing there is we're giving them a reason to click now, and I'm making their other pants that they're wearing very, very uncomfortable. So to recap everything we've done right here, the verbatim word for word what to say is in the video after this video. But what we've done is we've grabbed their attention, but by not focusing on any of this message right here. A lot of people start focusing on this very poorly drawn training right here. Again, we're going to keep the quality super low this year, as always. I know you guys love it. Let's keep the professionalism just at dirtbag levels. But we don't want to focus on any of this right here below. A lot of people focus exclusively on this in their ad without grabbing attention properly. And so, again, you have to consider that if we can just double the amount of people that stop scrolling, so let's imagine before you had 25% of people stop scrolling, we get to 50% by putting something that looks like a dick in our ads. I don't know, but think about it, and crazy ways to catch attention and then split test it. If we do that, that's just going to double the volume of our ad instantly. This is the most important thing right here if we want quick, easy, no effort results. Then we focus on what is most important to the person that they would pay for if we had. Step 3, if it's a gain benefit, you have to remove the things that have stopped them from pursuing that gain in the past and then verify it using these 3 things right here. Scientific studies and testimonials from famous people being the most powerful. Or doing some separate kind of case study yourself. For example, if you have 5,000 customers, track literally the average rate that customers succeed at your business. For example, at school, one really good thing that Hormozy and Ovens did with their ad is they pointed out that on average, a user makes $1,200 when they open their school. So that was across every single thousands of people that use it. That's the average. That's pretty impressive. You want to use undeniable numbers like that, studies, etc. So then you want to give them a reason to click now and a downside if they don't click, whether it's increasing the amount of counts there in their balls or the amount of money that they're losing every single day, and that there's no risk at clicking if they come and try Hyros or whatever your product is or something like that. Having extremely powerful guarantees in your business, last little tip, is one of the greatest ad hacks you can ever do and for your business. And your product should work 100% of the time or people shouldn't pay for it. So you might as well just have a crazy guarantee in the first place. You're not going to grow business by keeping the money of angry people. It'll work for a year, and then the angry people build up into a horde of people with pitchforks and then come tear down your business and tell everyone you suck, and then it's over at that point. So having crazy guarantees is a really good way to get people to click ads and buy and do everything else you want. Because again, there's no risk to them. And the reason why people don't buy things is there's risk. So this is what I've used. This is the format and questions I go through whenever I write an ad. In fact, whenever I communicate with people at this point in any form of sales process or day-to-day life or even videos, this is the process I've used. You might notice I start my videos with craziness a lot of times if you ever watch my crypto channel or this channel. Why do I do that? Attention. What's the second thing I do? What's important to you? Why are you here? Your ad's making more money, and how frustrated you are with losing money on your ads and the fact that you want to grow your ads without effort. And then what do I do next? I verify. And then instead of getting you to click an ad here, I just give you the damn content, because that's what you're here for. What I want you to do is consume the content. But I literally use this exact sales process at the start of this video to get you to my goal, which my goal was for you to consume the content and enjoy the content in this channel more. Because once you do that, I can slowly brainwash you into properly tracking your ads and not losing tons of money needlessly from your ads. Eventually, you'll come around if I lather you up, suds you up with enough quality content. Jokes aside though, this is the process I use. Watch the videos right after this video, the exact word for word script, and then the examples of ads of me doing this step by step. Like we'll watch a video over the shoulder of me going through that video ad that's made millions, tens of millions of dollars. We'll do that as well. And they'll be linked to right after this. Subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be posting videos about once a week going into 2025. And like always, I have a wonderfully awkward exit outro for you.